Have you ever experienced a loss that was so devastating it changed the course of you and your family's life? That's what happened to the protagonist, Zach, of this story. Zach comes from the Einstein family, who just had a devastating loss of their 9-year-old daughter, Susan. Susan was the youngest of 5. Older to her is Ethan, who's 16, Miriam, who's 15, 13-year-old Ruth, and our protagonist, 11-year-old Zach. So Zach is taking the death of his sister particularly bad, as he was very, very close to her, and he was with her prior to her accident. After her accident, the Einstein parents decided that the family could no longer continue to live their lives where they were at, so they picked up their lives and moved about an hour away to a town called Vista Point, which is located in the northeast. This is a very woodsy town. It's different from where they come from. They come from the city, and Zach in particular is fine with the move, but is not particularly excited at all. And while the family goes into town exploring, he stays home and actually ends up making a discovery himself. So while everybody else is gone, he looks out the window and he sees a young girl who reminds him of his youngest sister, Susan. When he goes outside to greet the girl and make sure she's okay, because he feels responsible since he was so close to his little sister, he actually ends up finding a friend in her. Now, this little girl's name is Anne, and Anne is full of adventure. She is from Vista Point and absolutely loves the very unique town that they live in. This town is full of very unique structures and landmarks that the whole sibling family is very intrigued in after they find it. And in particular, the day he meets Anne, he visits this structure that's built right near his house across the field, and that is called the Tower. That's what they refer to it as. Now, this big structure is abandoned, and inside there is a beautiful medallion picture which has sentences on it that doesn't quite make sense when they see it. Now, after they take note and look around this abandoned building, they end up discovering that there's a legend in the town that in the tower, if you look at the medallion and read off of it, it will bring magic after you read the charm and you discover the meaning behind it. And that becomes a big essential part, here's the medallion, of this book. And as Zach meets this friend Anne, and as he gets to know the town and this unique structure, and of course this medallion, he rediscovers himself, and he rebuilds his life after such a devastating loss of his sister. And that's the really main part of this book. It's about rediscovery, it's about rebuilding what was broken, it's about friendship and exploration, mystery. There's so much to this book, and with him and his sisters and his friend, he falls in love with Vista Point and really makes a good discovery. So let me read a section from this book that I found very, very interesting. This is a pivotal point of the book. "Hey, what's that?" Ruth said abruptly. A particular and urgent note in her voice caused the others to freeze. The way she spoke made Zach think she heard a noise nearby, and for a split second the crazy thought came to him that Anne was approaching and had, perhaps, made a sound. But when he turned to look at his sister, she was peering directly across the river, far into the blackness of the opposite side. He looked too, there from within the dense bulk of shadow that rose up from the river on the northern shore, where there was only trees and where, even during the day, it was almost impossible to see any houses or roads. A light flashed. And they have pictures in this book of essential parts, and I think it's just so amazing, the detailing they include in this book. They even have a map of the town. If you want to check this book out, it's called The Einsteins of Vista Point by Ben Gutterson, and you will not be disappointed.